The NBA preseason is in full swing, and while we've been covering it daily over here on NBA Central, this morning we're gonna be WNBA Central because the WNBA finals got started last night. And if you didn't see the game, you missed a classic as the Minnesota Lynx storm back versus the New York Liberty and win game one in overtime. Your boy Big Bro, Big Kev, we're gonna talk about it right after the intro.
Thank you for tuning in to the number one place for your basketball fix, NBA Central, hosted by the Cognac Boys.
What's the word, WNBA basketball fans and NBA basketball fans? Because if you ain't watching the WNBA this season, I don't know what's wrong with you. If you love basketball, you should be watching WNBA anyway, but that's neither here nor there because last night, Napheesha Collier and the rest of her teammates stormed back from 15 down with less than 5 minutes to go, or about 5 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the game to stun the New York Liberty in New York, right in front of Spike Lee in overtime. Napheesha Collier is a cold-blooded dog, bro. Like, we're gonna get into all the stats and all of that, but I'm gonna tell you, at my job, it's not a lot of things that I like about having to go to work every day, but we do have cable in the break room. Of course, I got it on my phone and all of that, but I was chilling on my break last night watching the game, and when I picked the remote control up to turn the channel because it was a rough one. It was a rough one. Minnesota was getting pounced upon with about 5 minutes to go. I was like, "Oh, this game is over." But for some reason, I was like, "Let me see what happens." Next thing you know, these ladies go on an 18-3 run to force overtime. I mean, the New York Liberty had a 99% chance to win the game from at about 4 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the game, after they hit a three or got something like that. And I was like, okay, well, this game is over. Minnesota showed no quit. And when you come from a championship, a program or a organization that has championship pedigree, we all know that Minnesota won 4 championships in 7 years. We saw the jersey retirement earlier this year of one of the greatest players to ever come through there, and the coach is still there. So the coach is there, and the culture is there. You can tell that these guys had no quit in them, and they fought all the way back to win that game. I mean, I was in there screaming in my break room, and I had a coworker in there. She didn't understand why I was so excited, but it's just basketball for you. Because I was gonna turn on the Yankees game to see what happened there, but the Yankees did get that win. But I was ready to change the channel to turn on the Yankees game, and Minnesota said, "Hey, hey, 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 don't touch that dial." So it was a great game, man. Napheesha Collier with the game winner, and with about 8 seconds to go in overtime, she hit the fadeaway. It was a nice shot. Brianna Stewart had an opportunity to go down and tie the game and force double overtime, but she missed the layup. You should always shoot with your left hand on the left side. She shot it with her right hand. It just didn't get the right angle. She did actually have to go against about 2 or 3 players down there, but hey, didn't get the shot to fall, and Minnesota steals game one and thus home court advantage in game one of the finals. Now, next year, the WNBA is going to be going to 7 games in the finals. I'm not sure why they still sticking with 3 games in the first round and best of 3 in the first round, best of 5 in the second round. I think it should be best of 5 in the first 2 rounds, best of 7 in the finals, but that's neither here nor there. But man, what a game it was. I'm telling you, I enjoyed every minute of it. So we had so much ebb and flow in that fourth quarter. It's just too much not to talk about. Um, Man, bro, I listen. I couldn't believe it. Courtney Williams, for example, she was basically just the engine that had this team flowing in an entire fourth quarter, and it culminated in her hitting a 4-point play to take the lead, in which it looked like Minnesota was going to get the win in regulation after New York lost the ball. It looked like it went off Brianna Stewart's foot, but the referees couldn't figure it out, so they did a jump ball, and then it looked like they were gonna win in regulation again after New York missed another shot, but the ball went out of bounds, and the New York Liberty were able to get to the foul line. Breanna Stewart, like she was going to be able to end it in regulation, but she missed one out of the two free throws, and that's what forced overtime. But she had a chance to ice it well with zero point 0.8 seconds to go. But even though she missed that free throw, Minnesota called a timeout, and Courtney Williams couldn't really get a shot off. There was a stretch where Jonquel Jones, who had a great game, we'll talk about her later on, she had a chance to shoot a three at least at the buzzer and maybe force a rebound situation, but a shot clock violation happened. Man, it was just so many different things that happened. Overtime started slowly, but the Knicks, I want to say the Knicks, the New York Liberty, they started this game off. They just went crazy on Minnesota. They were up 32-19 after the end of the first quarter. Their lead jumped to a balloon to as much as 18 points in the first half. But something happened in that second quarter. I guess the bench, just because I didn't see the entire game, but it looks like the bench for New York didn't really do much. They got 10 points off the bench. Courtney Vandersloot with 8 of them. The rest of the people who played, they didn't play much. It was a starter heavy game. But the rest of the people didn't really contribute, and I think that led to a 12-point second quarter because Minnesota outscored them 17-12 in the second quarter. And shout out to Minnesota because they also outscored them 25-24 in the third quarter. They did not allow New York to jump all over them in the third quarter. But in the fourth quarter, the Liberty, they still had a 15-point lead with 5 minutes and 20 seconds to go. And that's when these young ladies went on an 18-3 run to force overtime. Overtime started off slowly with the Liberty missing their first what they missed their first or 5 or 6 shots. And then Jonquel Jones hit a corner three to get their scoring going, and then they got a couple of steals in that overtime. It was crazy. It was real crazy. Yeah, New York missed their first 6 shots, but then Jones who was it? Sabrina Ionescu stole the ball and got a layup to make it 93-91, and then Jones stole the ball and dribbled all the way up and got a layup to tie the game at 93, but they just could not stop Collier. Let me tell you this girl's got stat line. Napheesha Collier was 10 for 16 from the field, 0 for 1 from 3, 1 for 2 from the free throw line, but she had 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals, and 6 blocks. One of those blocks she got while Jonquel Jones was hooking her with one arm, and she turned around to try to shoot it, and she blocked it with her other hand that was free. I mean, bro. And Jonquel Jones is a big girl. Collier is a dog, bro. She's a dog, and she came in second place in MVP voting this season for the WNBA for a reason. Courtney Williams, 9 for 18 from the field, 2 for 6 from three, and those two threes were huge. Huge, 23 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds for the young lady. And listen, when I say those two threes were huge, one of them was the 4-point play that tied the game, and subsequently the following free throw gave them the lead in regulation. And then the second one was right after Jonquel Jones hit that three, she followed it up with a three to put them back up. Before those two steals to tie the game. Had she not gone down and hit those threes, and those were tough threes, by the way, they were all contested, heavily contested. Obviously, the one that's a foul is heavily contested, and the one that she hit following up Jonquel Jones's three was heavily contested as well. And then you had Kayla McBride to pick up the slack as well. She had 22 points, 4 for 7 from three, 6 for 6 from a free throw line, 4 assists, 2 rebounds, and a steal. And then you had Smith, Carlton with 9 and 5 themselves, and then off the bench you had Hines with 5, and then Heidman with 10 points to round out the scoring for those young ladies. They did shoot 50% from the field, 36 for 71 from the field, 9 for 22 from three, which is not bad. That's 40%. 14 for 15 from the free throw line, which is incredible. Only one miss, and they did get 32 rebounds as a team and 20 assists as a team. They only had 10 turnovers. So on the New York Liberty side, man, like they fought with everything they had, but Breanna Stewart didn't have a good shooting night. Honestly, Ionescu didn't either. 8 for 26 from the field from Ionescu, 3 for 9 from three. She did have 5 rebounds. She had 3 assists and 3 turnovers and 4 steals. She did get 19 points, but 19 points on 26 shots, that's tough. And then you had Jonquel Jones. She definitely was pretty solid after struggling against Minnesota in the regular season. She came in with a chip on her shoulder. She gave you 24 and 10. She had 10 points by the end of the first quarter. So she was ready. She was focused. She hit 1 for 3 from three, 9 of 14 from the field. But Breanna Stewart also struggled from the field herself. In 43 minutes, she had 6 for 21 from the field, 2 for 6 from three, 4 for 6 from the free throw line, 9 rebounds, 18 points, 2 steals, and 2 turnovers to go along with 3 assists. But the 6 for 21 and then 8 for 26. So what is that? 14 for 47 between your two best players on the team, or two of your three best players on the team. That is not good. 14 for 47 is not going to cut it. In fact, the New York Liberty shot 34 for 90 from the field. They shot better from three percentage wise, 39% from three, than they shot from inside the 3-point line at 37%. Now, they did go 12 for 14 from the free throw line, but I guess they wish they would have went 14 for 14. They did have 44 rebounds, 21 assists to only 11 turnovers. But hey, if they would have made all their free throws, it would have been a tie game. But man, so I couldn't let today go by. I couldn't just do an episode on the NBA preseason. But these guys, man, what a game! What a game from the Minnesota Lynx and the New York Liberty. If you missed the game, just go on YouTube, watch the replay of at least the fourth quarter and overtime. You ain't even got to watch the whole game. It was a great game. All right, so we appreciate you guys, all the love and support y'all give us over here on NBA Central. Today is WNBA Central. It's your boy Big Bro. We'll just talk real briefly about what happened in the preseason last night. Pacers took down the Cavaliers 129-117. Ben Mathurin with 25 points there. The Jazz take down the Mavericks 107-102. Lauri Markkanen with 26 points and 7 rebounds there. And then you had the Hornets take care of the Grizzlies 119-94. Brandon Miller, second-year player, doing his thing, was a top 5 pick last season, 22 points for him. And the Lakers take care of business versus the Bucks, 107-102. Rui Hachimura with 14 points, Bobby Portis with 23 points for Milwaukee. And then the New Zealand Breakers, this was a game at halftime. It was a tie game at halftime versus the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, keep in mind, the Thunder didn't play hardly any of their starters, but they took care of business in the second half, ended up winning 117-89 after outscoring these guys. They only gave up, 16 and 13, 29 points in the second half. So shout out to those guys for at least not having a stain on the NBA roster's record for losing to a team named the New Zealand Breakers at home. So they took care of business. That's your NBA update on the preseason. Yesterday, later tonight, you have the Raptors and the Wizards. Alex Sarr rookie in action. The 76ers and Timberwolves are in action. Get to see PG and them and see how they look with their new roster. The Kings and Warriors are going at it after the Warriors put up 28 made threes the other day. The Pistons and Suns are going at it. And you got the Trailblazers and Clippers. And then the Pelican and Magic's game has been canceled for obvious reasons with hurricane weather down in Orlando. All right, so we appreciate you guys. Go ahead and check out those WNBA highlights, y'all. I'm telling you, that game was phenomenal. It's your boy Big Kev. We're gonna holler at you guys next time. Peace.
This